What up, everybody? This is your boy Dedrian Cologne from House of Wrestling. This is my review for the ROH Supercard of Honor pay-per-view and AEW Rampage on April 1st. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Man, this was a fun pay-per-view. It was a fun AEW Rampage. The reason why I'm doing both reviews in one video is because what happened on Supercard of Honor and AEW Rampage coincides with what's going to happen on AEW Dynamite this coming week. But man, this was a really good pay-per-view. This is a really good Rampage. I enjoyed it. It was fun. The ending of Supercard of Honor was dope. The ending of Rampage, ooh boy. Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor. It started with Swerve and Alex Zane. This was a really good match. Another great outing from Swerve Strickland. He's been killing it in Defy, New Japan Strong. I'm trying to think of what other spots. I know AEW. Man, he was at another spot. Man, I can't remember. But man, he's been putting on some really great matches. There was a lot of Swerve House. This is Swerve's House chants. You know, whose house? Swerve's house. Whose house? Swerve House. That was dope. And mind you, this is starting the pay-per-view. This is the first match, and he's getting those chants. So that dude's going to be a major player in this Ring of Honor AEW, you could say collaboration or what have you. Then there was a point in the match where Alex Zane tried to do a Hurricane Rana, and Swerve Strickland caught him, put him on his shoulder, then did a cutter on the top rope. That was dope. Then later in the match, you had Swerve Strickland on the top of the apron, and you get Ninja Mac from the outside jumping on Swerve Strickland and doing a Hurricane Rana onto the floor. That was insane. It was a back and forth match. A lot of if you're accustomed to Swerve Strickland, he's really quick in his matches. Very boom, 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 boom. Like he's just boom, 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 boom. And Alex Zane, very athletic, very good. But in the end, Swerve Strickland did the Jamie L. Driver, I believe that's what it's called, his finishing move. He wins 1, 2, 3. Great outing, great way to start the match, start the pay-per-view, excuse me. Really fun. The crowd was into it. Man, this pay-per-view had a vibe. There's a lot of energy, excitement, just what's going to transpire, where this is going to go. You could say it was a hybrid of a like the ending of the old, like a transition, like the ending of the old ROH and going into the new ROH, almost like a caterpillar. You know, you go from caterpillar to butterfly, almost like that. A metamorphosis. There you go. Then the second match was Ninja Mac versus Tully Blanchards, newest client. And in the pre-show, Tully Blanchard revealed his tag team that he brought into Ring of Honor, and it was Toa, Leone, and Khan from Shane Strickland Promotions, which was pretty surprising and interesting from a lot of people in the pre-show. Like, oh wow, what? So Ninja Mac's in the ring, and Tully Blanchard comes out, and he brings him out, and it's Brian Cage. Yes, Brian Cage, who we haven't seen on AEW TV for months. He is in Ring of Honor. Now it makes sense why Tony Khan, I think, picked up his option for another year, what have you. This was pretty cool. It's going to take some getting used to seeing Tully Blanchard with Brian Cage, because we've seen Brian Cage with Taz. So it's going to be interesting, but this looks pretty cool. This was pretty much a squash match. Brian Cage just annihilated Ninja Mac. Tully Blanchard grabs the mic, and then he's like, this is what I'm building. And You have Taya Leone, Khan, and Brian Cage. They're raising their arms. These dudes are jacked. Like, they are huge as hell. And it's going to be interesting how this plays out. I don't know how long Khan is going to be there. I don't know if AEW is going to bring in, or Tony Khan's going to bring in Shane Strickland Promotions in the new Ring of Honor. And is there going to be a, like, hey, are you still with us? Are you on your own? What have you? I know his, oh man, what's his partner's name from Shane Strickland Promotions? Forgive me, guys. It's been a long night for me recording this and watching all this wrestling. But I know he's done some singles matches as well. His tag team partner from SOS. But yeah, that's the new faction, Tully Blanchard Enterprises. He's got Brian Cage, Khan, and Toa Leone. Then the next match is Lee Moriarty with Matt Sydal versus Jay Lethal. And this was a very, very good match. I like the fact that on this card, you had Lee Moriarty and Willy Yuda, both young guys, just showcasing their talent and their skills. This was so awesome, so fun. This was a really good match. Sanjay Dutt was at ringside, and he plays a part in the main event, which I'll get to later. Cool part of the match was Jay Lethal. He was working his knee. Then there was a point in the match where the honor code was no more. And Jay Lethal just low blowed Lee Moriarty. He did the springboard cutter. 1, 2, 3. Jay Lethal wins, beats Lee Moriarty. Then he attacks Matt Sydal. Sanjay Dutt stops him. They leave. And, you have the aftermath of those guys. Then the next match, we had Willow Nightingale and Mercedes Martinez for the interim Ring of Honor Women's Championship. This was a pretty good match. I was impressed to see Mercedes perform I'm looking at my notes, guys. See her perform the OG drop on Willow Nightingale. Basically, it's like a razor's edge, but you, instead of going forward with the opponent, like it's almost like a razor's edge driver, almost like that, if you want to call it. Forgive me, guys. There was a point in the match where Willow Nightingale performed an amazing moonsault. I loved it. Great maneuver, but there was a kick out. There was a lot of great kickouts where you thought the match was going to end. It's like, oh man. And then towards the end, Mercedes Martinez, she put Willow Nightingale into a Dragon Sleeper 1, 2, 3. Mercedes Martinez is the interim Ring of Honor World Champion. So you have Mercedes Martinez as the interim Ring of Honor Women's Champion. And then you have Deonna Purrazzo, who is the actual Ring of Honor Women's Champion. So at some point, they are going to collide, and then we're going to have an undisputed Ring of Honor Women's Champion. I look forward to that match because that's going to be a dope match. From there, we have the match of the night. Maybe how do I put it? This was the match of the night, but I can see the main event giving it a run for its money. But this was a banger of a match. FTR versus the Briscoes. This was for the Ring of Honor tag team titles. FTR, they come out with their dope retro music. They come out with the AAA tag team titles. The Briscoes, they come out with their titles and everything. This was a freaking banger. There's a point where FTR threw a chair in the ring and the ref caught it. That was pretty cool. You had once they got in the ring, and both guys locked up. I believe it was Dax Hardwood and Jay Briscoe. Like, the crowd was like, when you have something special, when the crowd is going nuts for your match as soon as you lock up. Like, that was insane. this match was very, very, very physical. This was a physical match, and by physical, I mean stiff. Like, there was a lot of points where they were laying in chops, elbows, punches, kicks, suplexes. There was one point where I believe it was Mark Briscoe did a suplex to the floor. There was a point where they did, was it the redneck? Both tag teams performed their finishers, and it was just kick out, kick out, kick out. Then there was a point where, what was it? There we go. Where it was actually the FTR. I'm just looking at my notes, guys. FTR, they performed the big rig. 1, 2, 3. The Briscoes win. And what was crazy is this feud was pretty much built on social media. And after the match, you would think that nobody would shake hands, and like these guys embraced. Later on in the media scrum, Dax and Cash Wheeler, they pretty much said it was organic. They would love to fight those guys in another match in that type of crowd. I loved it. They were shaking hands and everything. The Briscoes left. FTR is, I believe they were were they in the ring? No, they were not in the ring. FTR left. Forgive me, guys. Bear with me. It's been a long night watching all this wrestling and recording these reviews for you guys. Bear with me. So yeah, FTR, they left. The Briscoes in the ring. They're rejected. And the crowd goes nuts. You're like, man, what the hell is this? The Young Bucks show up at Ring of Honor, super kick the Briscoes, and challenge the FTR. So FTR again, they come in the ring. Young Bucks ring. FTR challenges them. And this coming Wednesday on AEW Dynamite, we're going to get FTR Young Bucks for all the titles. The Ring of Honor and the AAA tag team titles. That's going to be interesting how this plays out. I'm looking forward to this tag match. I'm really interested to see what's going to happen with the Briscoes. I know with some stuff that they, I believe it was Jay Briscoe or what have you, they tweeted, years ago, it's kind of like keeping them out of AEW and on TNT and TBS. Since then, they have apologized and, just like, hey, it was a mistake. I was stupid. Interested to see where they wind up because they had a badass match with FTR, and I would love to see that rematch again. So, let's see what happens with that. From there, we get a match between Minoru Suzuki and Rhett Titus. Minoru Suzuki just kicked his ass. Again, another stiff match. This was just insane. And we have a new Ring of Honor TV champion, Minoru Suzuki. That's interesting. Where this is going to go, I don't know. But I'm interested to see where this is headed. Then the next match, we have Josh Woods versus Willy Yuda. I recommend you guys watch this match. This was a very good match. You can tell Willy Yuda is going to another level. Like, he's gone. You could since he's separated from the best friends, and he's had his encounter with Bryan Danielson, William Regal, and Jon Moxley. Like, he's gone to another level. This match was fantastic. I recommend you guys watch this match. Josh Woods, if you watch the style, man, he's very physical. If you watch this match with Jonathan Gresham at I believe it was the last pay-per-view before they went on hiatus. Was it not Supercard of, not Final Battle, the pay-per-view before that, I believe. Yeah, there you go. That was the pay-per-view. I can't remember what it was. Forgive me, guys. But yeah, you watch the match between Jonathan Gresham and Josh Woods. The dude lays it in. Like, he's a technical grappler, but he's fucking stiff. Like, man. But yeah, this match, solid. Willy Yuda held his own, and we have a new Ring of Honor Pure Champion, Willy Yuda. So that's interesting right there. Where this goes, again, I'm looking forward to it. After that, you had Ring of Honor, Iron Riccaboni and Caprice Coleman promoting AEW Dynamite. That's really surreal. I was like, this is interesting. Like, damn, this is pretty interesting. From there, we get the main event. Jonathan Gresham, Bandito. Me personally, I enjoyed the main event. I can see why people who were watching the main event were just like, man, it was just like, there's people like, it was clunky. There was a few people that it just didn't click for them. It was just like, it didn't feel like a wrestling match. It just felt like reversals and spots and stuff like that. I enjoyed Jonathan Gresham's style. I enjoyed Bandito's style. I was enjoyed by it, but I can see why certain fans really didn't care too much for it. Felt like a spots and reversals and stuff like that. This was cool. There was a point in the match where Bandito wanted Chavo Guerrero gone. I've never seen that before in a wrestling match where the wrestler wanted his manager to leave ringside. Never understood that. Or never seen that. I understand it, but I've never seen it before. So from there, you have all these, you have a shit ton of counters, reversals, submission holds, then reversals and counters and reversals and counter. Like, there's a certain point where it just like picks up, boom, 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 and you kind of know it's going to be the finish. It's typical. Honestly, I could say it's kind of like a typical style of Jonathan Gresham that he has in his matches, where it's like towards the end, boom, 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 and then boom, the finish. But again, Jonathan Gresham wins. He is the undisputed Ring of Honor World Champion. Him and Bandito, they shake hands. Honor is real, the honor code and everything. So he's there. Then Jay Lethal comes out, starts talking, and he's like, I made you. You wouldn't be Ring of Honor champion if it wasn't for me. And Jonathan Gresham like, oh, so that's what it's about. And then he smacks Jonathan Gresham, and then he just starts beating up Jonathan Gresham. Sanjay Dutt comes out. He tries to break him up. He breaks him up, and then he attacks Jonathan Gresham. So you get Jonathan Gresham and Jay Lethal attacking, or Jay Lethal and Sanjay Dutt attacking Jonathan Gresham, and they're just beating him up. And then music hits, and the crowd's waiting and waiting, and then they erupt. And you see this guy walk into the ring with a towel over his head. It's none other than Samoa Joe. Yes, Samoa Joe is in Ring of Honor. Tony Khan tweeted out the graphic. Samoa Joe and Willy Yuda are all elite. This is going to be fun. Samoa Joe helps out Jonathan Gresham. And I forgot to mention that Lee Moriarty came out to try to help them, and they beat him up. So you had this image of Samoa Joe, Lee Moriarty, and Jonathan Gresham looking at Sanjay Dutt and Jay Lethal. So that's how the show ended for Supercard of Honor. That's a cliffhanger. Now this ties into Rampage, and Rampage ties into next week's Dynamite. So Samoa Joe, they announced it. Samoa Joe will be on AEW Dynamite this Wednesday. I love this, how this plays out. I do give credit to Tony Khan for this show. Still, the judgment's out on the future shows, but this did feel like something totally different from AEW. It did not feel like, oh, this is AEW with a Ring of Honor name. Like, no, this felt like a Ring of Honor separate from it. If they maintain this and just build on the momentum and just have the little tweaks and surprises like they had tonight, This is going to be really cool. Second company for Tony Khan, and it's going to give a lot of those guys that we don't see on TV time. So that was fun. Now, how this ties into Rampage, go with this. So Rampage has started with Top Flight and the Young Bucks. This was a really great match. It was good to see Top Flight back. This was the rematch of a match they had back in Jacksonville before they went on the road. So this was a really cool match. The Young Bucks win. It wasn't like the first match, but you can tell Top Flight are more comfortable and more seasoned, and you could see the confidence that they have. Just boom, and I got this. It's gonna be fun to see them grow, but man, this was a really good opening match. Then after that, you get a promo from Dan Lambert, and he's with Paige Van Zandt, Ethan Page, and Scorpio Sky. Thankfully, from what I heard, because at this time I was watching multiverses of matches and the finishing part of Supercard of Honor, he didn't say anything stupid this time, or anything derogatory towards women, or any sexual references. Well, he did mention, I don't have to call them hoes or like something. He didn't talk too long about it, which was like, all right, just please keep it minimum. Then we get a shot of Sammy Guevara and Ty Conti, and they destroy his car. What's interesting is that where his car was parked looked very sketchy. Like, you're in an arena, like the way where it looked like it was at a junkyard or towing, like a place where they tow cars and stuff like that. Like, it didn't look like it was like by the arena or something like that. Like, it just looked very like, huh? And the car that they destroyed, it was like, Dan Lambert's working with all these MMA guys, and that's the damn car he's driving? Like, at least it'd be not like, huh? Like, really, bro? But it is what it is. From there, we get a backstage promo. Tony Schiavone is interviewing Hook. And Tony Schiavone's like, hey, first time, Hook. And he's interrupted by Danhausen. And Danhausen tries to curse Hook. And he's still trying to curse him. And he's like, oh, I curse you. And Hook just walks away. And Danhausen's throwing a fit like, what are you, like, it usually works. What's going on here? What is going on here? What's going on here? That was pretty fun. It wasn't, usually Danhausen stuff is pretty like, oh my God, it's kind of funny. It did kind of go too long because it did feel like he was rambling. If they would have cut it, maybe as soon as he said, what is this? It usually works. And boom, cut it. That would have been good, but they left it a little bit longer. It was just like, it's not as fun or anything. But it was cool to see Hook. Hopefully he's back in the ring pretty soon, and hopefully I can't wait to see him on a Dynamite. From there, we get a match between the House of Black versus Fuego del Sol, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson. This was a solid match. Fuego del Sol is getting some balls, and by that I mean he ain't afraid of the House of Black, which, if I were him, I would be afraid. There's a point in the match where he's just calling out all the members of the House of Black. He's like, I'll take you on. That point was it Stu Grayson grabbed, I believe it was Buddy Murphy's leg. Evil Uno got Brody King. This was a really fun match. It's really cool to see the House of Black. AEW. Please bring those trios titles. I don't know if I were AEW, I would just, you have the Ring of Honor trios titles. I would just, instead of having an AEW trios titles where you're going to have two, but then again, it would make sense to have two because you got Ring of Honors and keep it like that. But this was a fun match. House of Black, they're on a freaking tear, but you can tell from the amount of trios matches that we're seeing lately, especially with House of Black, that we're going to see the trios titles pretty soon. I know Tony Khan said a couple weeks ago that he was going to wait for Kenny Omega and then we'll probably see it, but I think what he wants and what's there, like, you got to speed that up, buddy. Then we get a promo from the Young Bucks, and this is where this ties into what happened at Supercard of Honor. So the Young Bucks are giving their promo, and they literally list all the championships that they've held. And Brandon Cutler is funny because Brandon Cutler's like, hey, you forgot this. Hey, you forgot this. He's like, you know what? You're right, but shut up, Brandon. So this Wednesday, they announce that they're going to wrestle for the AAA championships. Now, mind you, Dynamite's filmed on Wednesday. This was Supercard of Honor was live tonight. So it kind of, if you didn't know, it would make sense. Oh, AAA titles. But then if you watch tomorrow and going into Dynamite, oh my God, it's for the Ring of Honor titles. Oh, this is pretty cool. So that's pretty fun. Then you had a match between Jamie Hayter and Sky Blue. This was a freaking physical match. Jamie Hayter is a beast. She beat the hell out of Sky Blue. Sky Blue is definitely an up-and-coming wrestler. She is the future. Wherever she goes, she is going to... It's weird because she actually reminds me of Roxy that just signed with WWE. They're very similar, but Roxy, you could tell, is just a little bit more ahead of her as far as just being... just having that it factor in the ring. But man, this was a physical match. Jamie Hayter wins. Mind you, this match was for a spot in the Owen Hart Women's Tournament. So Jamie Hayter joins Toni Storm as far as the participants that have spots in the Owen Hart Tournament, which is really cool. That tournament looks like it's going to be a really great tournament for these women. You have Jamie Hayter and Toni Storm. It's going to be interesting to see who fills out the brackets. It's going to be fun. From there, we get the main event. Powerhouse Hobbs and Keith Lee. I love the promo between Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs. Of course, we know it on Rampage. It's time for the main event. Mark Henry does it. But man, Powerhouse Hobbs, what he said and he delivered. And I recommend you guys watch this because it does me no justice trying to repeat what he did. You watch his delivery, you watch his tone, you watch his inflection, and you listen to it. The brother, he's there. He's there. If he's not there, he's definitely getting there. Man, I have not seen a Powerhouse Hobbs this confident and just this with the presence of I've arrived. And I think that's a lot of wrestlers that we're starting to see with this AEW Ring of Honor, even in Impact and stuff like that. There's a lot of wrestlers that are displaying this I've arrived. You're going to take notice. And Keith Lee, his delivery back. Oh, man, this feud I am looking forward to. This is going to be fun. I know this match won't be the last match that they have. This was just two big fucking dudes beating the hell out of each other. I would say, I don't think there's any. You know what? I would say I wouldn't say it's like Big E and Bobby Lashley, but it's right close to it. Not on par with it, but just right. Like, okay, give them a few more matches. This is gonna be good. It was badass. There was a point where Ricky Starks tried to interfere. He tried to hit Big E with the chair. Big E punched the chair, and you could tell it scraped Ricky Starks because later on, as this match went on and post-match, like he was bleeding and stuff, and Powerhouse Hobbs went to go hit him with a chair, or hit Keith Lee with a chair. He hit him, tried to pin him, didn't pin him. Keith Lee, he performed his finishing. I can't remember what his finishing was. So he picked him up, slammed him 1, 2, 3. He wins, and Ricky Starks gets in the ring, starts beating him up again. Keith Lee throws him. Powerhouse Hobbs, he power slams him. Then Taz they come down to the ring, and Ricky Starks come to the ring, and they, they're at ringside, and Ricky Starks grabs a table. Keith Lee starts fighting back, and then lo and behold, Powerhouse Hobbs spears him through the table. And mind you, before this, Swerve Strickland, he made the save. Forgive me, guys. It's been a long night. But yeah, Swerve Strickland, he went through a table from Ricky Starks. So yeah, it was dope. But yeah, this is going to be a really interesting feud. Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee versus Powerhouse Hobbs and Ricky Starks. I like that they're giving these guys time on Rampage. It's a fun feud to watch on Rampage because all four of these guys are charismatic. There's a chemistry there. I've done videos. You guys have seen them as far as there's something there with Swerve Strickland and Ricky Starks. There's magic there. They're both charismatic. This is going to be fun where this goes. But yeah, that is what happened on AEW Rampage. It's going to be fun to see what happens between AEW and Ring of Honor. What Tony Khan has in store. I know today, or actually on Friday, as I'm recording this, because right now, as I'm recording, it's Saturday. On Friday, Tony Khan mentioned on Busted Open Radio that, he's very interested in bringing in more people to AEW and Ring of Honor. It's going to be interesting who joins Ring of Honor and how this plays out and stuff like that. But overall, Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor, I recommend you guys watch that pay-per-view. Rampage, fun Rampage. I recommend you guys watch that as well. It was fun. I enjoyed it. The Ring of Honor, Supercard of Honor exceeded my expectations. Rampage, it was fun. Like, Rampage lately has been fun. The ratings, I know, don't reflect it, but there's so many factors to it. It was fun. I personally hope and wish that eventually Rampage goes to another night and maybe could be 2 hours or maybe just be an hour and just go on another night. Because the Friday night at 9 p.m. ratings wise does not help them. It just doesn't help them. If they were on a Thursday night, that would be pretty cool. But it is what it is. But yes, this is my review for the ROH Supercard of Honor pay-per-view and AEW Rampage for April 1st. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Follow House of Wrestling on all social media platforms. Follow me, Dedrian180, on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. And like always, don't fight over wrestling. There's so much wrestling happening this weekend and the week after. Like, whatever you like, you can watch because they're showing it. All right? Let's enjoy it. It's going to be fun. We're not even at WrestleMania yet. It's going to be fun to watch this. But thank you guys. Until next time.